Hey everybody, Kaito Mitchell coming at you live. Hey, this weekly program seems to be gaining some steam, so we're going to keep doing it. I've got Scott Fardulis from the SBA Freedom Plan Co-op, Freedom Protect Co-op, and this is a health plan that I want to introduce you to. Hey Scott, welcome, and why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Kaito, thank you so much for having me on here with you today. It certainly is an honor and a privilege. Yes, my name is Scott Fardulis, and with the Freedom Protect Co-op here in Northern Colorado, where our offices are located, we've got an unbelievable team of people. And we are in business now for about 3 years, and we're offering individual, family, and group-style health care and health benefits programs that include the medical, the dental, and the vision, and the pharmacy all wrapped into one.
Okay, so Scott, tell me why this business was important to even create, since people have insurance and things like that. How long you guys been in business? Tell me a little bit about that.
You bet. Well, I used to be the CEO of a pretty large company that had about 400 employees. And every year the topic of healthcare would come up, and let's just say it was less than desirable year after year. When we would evaluate that, it was rather painful because we would always be inevitably informed that our rates would be going up somewhere between 10 and 20%. So
Right.
that's not exactly good news. However, after years and years of this, it seemed to be the norm. Well, there came a point in time when myself and several other individuals got together and we decided, you know what, there's got to be a better way and a better alternative. And so a really good friend of mine named David Jones, he created something that was called an ERISA plan, ERISA, Employee Retirement Income Security Act. Been around since 1974. And through that, let's just say it's a completely different sandbox that all leads to the same place with a PPO network. And we've been providing that PPO network for the last 3 years. And really amazing, Kaito, when other people are seeing massive increase rate hikes, we have not raised our rates in over 3 years, 3 consecutive years, no rate increases. Can you believe that?
So no rate increases for the last 3 years in a row?
3 years in a row. So talk about taking people's frowns around this topic and turning it into a
No
smile.
kidding.
That's what we specialize in.
That's awesome. So who are your main clientele, Scott?
Our main clientele is anyone that makes up a family, or excuse me, an individual, a family, or a group, as long as there's a minimum of 2 or more. There's no maximum on that. And we're doing business all throughout this great nation, the USA, and all 50 states, as well as US territories.
Okay. So what makes your program so unique? Why would people want to talk to you?
I would say that that is like the ultimate question, and we put a tremendous amount of time in thinking about that question. There's 3 things that people want to know. We never wish that someone would ever have to go to the doctor or the hospital. However, inevitably it happens. And when it does occur for you, then there's 3 things that come to mind. Number 1 is, who do I have access to? Who can I go see? Who's going to take care of me? And the second question that comes to mind is it going to be convenient? Or am I going to be really put out by this? The third thing people want to know is, can I afford it? Is it going to fit in my budget? Or is it just unrealistically priced? And to answer those 3 questions, here are 6 things that answer those 3 questions. The first one is that, just like, you've all heard the Geico commercial, a 15-minute phone call could save you 15% or more on your car insurance. We're kind of like that. A few-minute conversation with us could save you, and very likely tremendously, on the monthly rates that you have going out around healthcare. Number 2, so less expensive is number 1. Number 2 is that we don't have any deductible. Kaito, did you hear that? And can you even believe it yourself? No deductible? How rare is that in your opinion?
It's rare. That's part of the reason why I became a client.
Perfect. Well, number 3 is that we don't have any pre-existing conditions, exclusions for people who are already going through healthcare challenges. Number 4, we don't have any open enrollment issues, which is really nice. Kaito, how, they almost use this fear-based tactic, most companies, where you got to fit inside this little window. And if you don't make it just in time, you got to wait till the next year. So it's almost like taxes. People start panicking around this date. That's number 4. Number 5 is that we use the largest network in the nation for PPO services, which is PHCS, Private Healthcare Services or Systems. And so, like Verizon, they have more towers, they don't drop as many calls. we're kind of like that as well, where we just have so many healthcare professionals that you have access to, you're bound to be very pleased. And the last one is just no medical underwriting. So we don't wait for you to pee in a cup, take a blood sample, and wait for exam one out of Kansas City to share, what your news, your situation is. That's not the game we play. So those are 6 things that separate us from other competitors that are out there in the market.
Awesome. Yeah. So for those of you watching, one of the reasons I invited Scott on today is I moved my family over to this program because every year in November, I'd lose even a little more hair, if you can believe it. And my wife and I would be in arguments over what we should do, and our rates kept going up. And we really looked that it just didn't make sense. And I got 3 kids, and I got that one that's accident prone that, loves to be the daredevil. And we needed something that worked. And guess what? We found this. I actually met these guys through a friend of mine, Paul Strange, but they brought me onto this program. We're saving $1,100 plus a month just on our monthly bill, and with the no deductible. For me, that was a big deal, and that was part of the reason why I brought it, because I think with the whole COVID issue, we're going to see a lot of businesses and a lot of employees, or in a lot of 1099s with issues with money. So one of the things, Scott, we're doing is we're telling our agents to remargin their businesses and remargin their lives. And what I mean by that is, hey, it's going to get a little thin for a while. So we want them to really be tight on their numbers and cut out any unnecessary expenses. Well, giving extra money to a major healthcare provider versus keeping that in my pocket if I can have the same coverage, to me is a waste of money. Would you agree?
I would completely agree. And first of all, your story about the amount of money that you're saving month over month, while I want to say, wow, I'm no longer surprised. I mean, that's an example of the reaction and the feeling that we get from almost every client that we deal with. So thank you for being another powerful testimony. And I've got a question for you. You really just highlighted it. But, Kaito, when I sit here, I think, first of all, my hat's off to you. I know who you are. We're friends. And I really respect you and admire you as a businessman in the community, as an innovator, as a leader. You have not led small teams. You've led small to extremely large teams, as you do now. And a lot of people know you, and I'm finding that out over the years, that your reputation does precede you. And I think from my perspective, one of the reasons that's the case is because people trust you. They know that you make great decisions on their behalf. And when you do that, they're like, we have a leader. And if he's vetted something out, it must be great. So as you vetted us out and this out, and you've made the personal decision for your family, what do you really see as the difference maker, if you will, for putting this as an OP inside of your Keller Williams business? What do you see as the massive difference maker for you, your staff, your teammates, and all those wonderful agents that represent your organization?
No, Scott, that's a great question. So for years, I have looked for a group plan for our agents, but being 1099s, we always had an issue that we weren't allowed to do group plans. And what this did is this provided something that allowed us to fit the pieces together so that our agents, either the ones who didn't have insurance or the ones who were underinsured, had the ability to have something that was a good health plan for them. And what we're finding is that a lot of them are realizing that, hey, if they can get the same product for, and a much lower price, that it just makes sense, because insurance, a lot of people are spending more money on insurance now than they're spending on their own mortgage. And that's just ridiculous for something that you may or may not use. And in doing the research on you guys, we found that really it was apples to apples. The only difference was I didn't have to pay as much money. And I needed to make sure my family was taken care of and that I'm growing my family's wealth. Well, one of the ways you do that is not spending money unnecessarily. So that was part of the reason for my choice. And, I've led you on to a couple other OPs in the KW system who are now looking at it seriously. A lot of the people watching this vlog are business owners who are looking at alternatives. So I think it's just something that's going to benefit a lot of people in the long run.
That's powerful. Absolutely powerful. And Kaito, thank you for leading the way on that. And it is really a pleasure to be partnered with you in this concept.
Oh, absolutely. And I appreciate you guys saving me all that money. So Scott, how would people get a hold of you? How would they find out a little bit more about the program if they want to make a next step?
You bet. Well, a couple of simple things. And first of all, just know that Kaito, a couple times a week, we do webinars where we would invite people to come in and learn from us and understand our program more in depth, more on our plans, how they function and the value that's there. That's something we do a great job of, is showing people tremendous value. That's something that they can afford. So we do that a couple times a week. So, with your permission, it'd be great to have people know that they're invited to come to that.
Oh,
and we can
absolutely.
share those times with you that will be available to people.
Yeah, absolutely. And
Yep.
then Scott, if they wanted to email you, look up something on the website, get a hold of you guys, how would they do that?
Couple of things. Here's our website, SBA, as in Small Business Agency, SBA, freedomprotect.com. That'd be a great website to go to look, into more detailed information. And then I'll leave my cell phone number here. My cell phone, if you'd like to reach out to me personally, is 970-290-0363. Good.
And by the way, since Scott did it, I'll leave my cell phone for those of you who want to hear a little bit more about why I moved my family to it. It's 303-359-1420. Feel free to call. By the way, if you have a house to sell, we can also help you with that. Hey, Scott, anything else you want to say in closing?
Kaito, I really appreciate your time. I think this has been a wonderful time with you, and we covered so many bases, and I look forward to getting to know you, your team, and your incredible organization a whole lot better.
Perfect. Scott, I appreciate your time today, and I appreciate you guys watching. If you have any suggestions for other people we should be interviewing in the local business market, please do let us know. Email me at Kaito, Kato, @kw.com. That's my main email that I use. Go ahead and let us know, and we appreciate you guys being here. Please click the subscribe button down there. Thanks. Have a great day.